How are you doing, guys? This is ZDEyE here. So today I simply wanted to talk about regarding of the leaks and the rumors for the next Rockstar's game. There was actually a rumor going on regarding that next Rockstar game will be set in the medieval times. Actually, there was even more confirmation regarding that it will be even set in somewhere in Europe. Now, obviously, back then, if we are talking about medieval, basically means you're gonna be using a lot of the swordsmanship and a lot of dueling. This means that as well, this can be a very different route for the Rockstar to go with. And if that is, of course, if it is case to be the truth or not. At the moment of this recording of this video anyway, there were no confirmations nor denies, and basically, in my general opinion, what do I think? Will we actually see this or something like this or not? Well, firstly, I can't say if we will or will not, because number one, I don't know if they will go with that. I mean, from so profitable IP that they already have, such as the Grand Theft Auto and the Red Dead Redemption, I don't see them taking any different direction of what they are, so great at doing already. There were so many other rumors regarding that the release of the Grand Theft Auto 6 or perhaps even Bully 2 for making its comeback. Personally, I don't really think Bully 2 will be happening, like if ever, in some cases. Well, I should never say never say never, right? But still, Grand Theft Auto 6 is the biggest likely game that will be happening next from the Rockstar. And why? Well, I mean, is there even a point for me to explain why? Well, obviously Grand Theft Auto 5, especially the online mode, was a phenomenal success. And now Red Dead Redemption 2, also a phenomenal success. Well, maybe not so much of an online mode of it, but still a story-wise mode. And but Bully, as it was, I'm talking about the first Bully, it was very extremely controversial back in the day. But also, if Rockstar managed to release, say, Bully 2, and it's being so dark and humor and very controversial to the point in 2019, and let's say the game comes out in 2020, 2021 or 2022 at the latest, it's not going to be very good PR. One of the things for certain, because, well, people nowadays are extremely sensitive about everything, even if you don't refer them. It's just ridiculous. You can't make any games that are somewhat controversial. Torture scenes, then you're gonna have to change the whole thing and or blur this part for this specific region. Remember, like in Grand Theft Auto 5, there was so many controversies regarding one of the moments in the torture scenes that you were a part of it and you were the one inflicting it. And yet, it was so controversial. Come on. Jesus. Fucking sensitive assholes, like for real. And now, Medieval Time could be actually a very interesting twist, right? There were a lot of, obviously, that depends on how you want to go with knights or, with the swords and the stuff like that. Obviously, there were very difficult times as well. They were raping, torturing for the extracting the information from your enemies, right? There were a lot of dismemberments due to these swords plays and stuff. And I don't know how would Rockstar be able to pull that off. And my personal opinion, yes. I think they 100% can pull that off. But here's the twist, here's the kicker, I should even say. I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to go for the medieval time of the setting of their next upcoming game. I really don't. I actually want them to go with the Grand Theft Auto 6. Let me explain. My favorite game perhaps might be Grand Theft Auto 5 from Rockstar. I like Grand Theft Auto 5 more than Red Dead Redemption 2 in the story and online on both of the regards, and I just like it more. Right? That's why I'm more of a bias towards the Grand Theft Auto series than any new IP that Rockstar even managed to create. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Rockstar will be able to pull that off very successfully, and knowing Rockstar as well. Still, there was also a little bit of additional rumor to that, and since this is actually going to be an open world medieval game, we'll have an online in the first quarter of 2021 release. Now that's actually quite crazy, and in some cases 2021, well, first quarter of it, that is kind of a, yeah, I could definitely see that something happening in 2021 early at least. But again, I really don't want them to go with that route. I don't want to see a medieval game. Why as well? Because we have so many out there already. Believe it or not, Red Dead Redemption 2 already does go to that kind of category of going to medieval times, even though you are more or less of a cowboy on the West era, and yeah, that was one of the best part of the gameplay. A lot of people liked. Now, talking about that, let's talk about another medieval game that I can think of right now at the moment. Let's say the For Honor, right, from Ubisoft game. That actually does a very well done play swords, and still that's very good. And the other one as well is Skyrim, right, 2011 version, obviously. Well, there's a special editions and all that stuff. That game, well, even though it is more of a fantasy based, but still, it's just Fallout as an example, the Outer Worlds. Now, don't get me wrong, they do have differences compared to them. Like, maybe we could even do medieval times of, like, I don't know, Bloodborne? I mean, maybe not Bloodborne, sorry, maybe like Dark Souls 3 as an example, even though that's fantasy as well. But you know what would be crazy? A couple days, maybe a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, I should say, I actually made a video regarding what if Grand Theft Auto and Dark Souls, combination of both. And kinda this is it, isn't it? A little bit. Since it can be containing a swordsmanship and dueling, a lot of it. And I mean, make it very difficult, but even a bigger scale than ever, from like that From Software manages to pull off. And if that's the case, that will be absolutely insane. And I don't know how they will be able to pull off, because the weakest links of the Rockstar that so far they managed to always stay in the past and never really evolve, well, is the gunplay. Maybe it's necessary for them to do this. Maybe they want to move away from the gunplay, but instead concentrate on hand-to-hand combat, so to say, right? Swordsmanship and stuff like that. But on top of that, the hand-to-hand combat on the Grand Theft Auto is pretty appalling. It's not very good. Red Dead Redemption 2 definitely improves it far more impressive what it can do, but yet it's still not up to the par of what you would be expecting. And if that's the case, I think they need to be seriously concentrating on hand-to-hand combat extremely, like to the point of making it fucking perfect. Like to the degree of Dark Souls. The Dark Souls combat is incredible. Bloodborne combat, Sekiro combat, those games are simply incredible. I actually think some cases like From Software needs to I don't know, maybe Rockstar needs to get some kind of From Software's acknowledgement, and perhaps even some of the developers, and so to learn all these, mechanics. Well, that would be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? I mean, I would love to see that. I don't know if this will ever happen and come to fruition, but still, that would be bloody epic to see. And again, it's not like as if I'm saying I would not like medieval, because obviously, right, I don't want medieval. If I have a choice of saying, let's say, Grand Theft Auto 6 or medieval, it's easy. I'll go for Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, I understand medieval game for Rockstar will be a brand new IP. Maybe that's what people want. But I love Grand Theft Auto series. Any one of them, they're all fantastic. And they're not oversaturated. That's even the best part. Now, Grand Theft Auto, when they do come out, they're so different compared to each other. Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto 3, 4, 2, 1, whatever. And yet they're all so different and do it so well. And even with the DLCs and the expansions, and even the online. Yes, online, a lot of problems with that, but still, it's fantastic. And that's why I don't want them to make a new direction again. Go with what they know, go with what you know of how you can be able to make it even phenomenally better. Few improvements necessary, I definitely say, is the gunplay. That's the appalling part from any of the Rockstar games, except Max Payne 3, that was weird. Max Payne 3 gunplay was fantastic, but yet Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 gunplay, it's pretty appalling. I don't get it. Maybe on PC it's actually far better, but on controllers, it's not that great. Again, that's really is dependable. A lot of people say for some reason, I don't think that combat is that bad. I don't think it's that difficult to use. Well, no, it's not the difficulty. It's just it really is the sensitivity and the dragginess of the controls. So when you aim at the enemies, you miss the headshots, and you're thinking like, what the fuck happened there? And that was obvious, like because you have aim assists and stuff like that. This is why you have it in this game, because Rockstar already know aim assist is a necessity for this game. Before, believe it or not, there were no aim assists, like in Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3 perhaps as well, I might be missing. Vice City as well never had that aim assist. Well, you just simply point and shoot, hope for the best, you hit someone. Well, that's very, very old games. God, great times, great memory. Alright, well, before I do go, guys, I'm actually currently making about 3 to 4 different types of topics. I have decided to go with one of those topics a little bit more substantial with the editing. The other 2, well, maybe 3, I am still considering what I would like to do. Have a bit of a discussion, freestyle commentary, or should I just be making it like more of a scripted, very heavily edited? But again, if you want to know more about this, down in the community tab page on my YouTube channel, I definitely highly advise you to check it out, read it for yourself, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, I don't want to drag this long enough, I think I already have. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe, see you guys all later, and yeah, have a good one.